as humans have brainwashed ourselves into believing there's a specific form of perfection that is necessary to achieve in order to be accepted in the world. Society has been negatively influenced by the modern-day beauty industry through the idea of perfection, the way it has evolved over time, and the impact it has on social media. All these factors have adapted and shaped every aspect of our modern-day cosmetics and the extremes some will go to have a flawless appearance.
Name and your line of work?
My name is Arlene, and I am a student at Odessa College for cosmetology.
Hi, Arlene, and how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. Why did you decide to become a professional cosmetologist, and when did you know this was your passion?
I decided to become a cosmetologist student because I've always been interested in the beauty industry, and I've always been interested ever since I was in high school.
Okay, and since you work daily and are a member of the beauty community, how much do you think social media influences you as well as clients interested in your line of work?
Social media is a big influence because a lot of the clients take inspiration on what they want from social media, and we can also take ideas from social media and incorporate it into our work.
Okay, and like in your opinion, do you think all cosmetic products used to perfect beauty reflect a positive or a negative change, and like why?
I think a lot of it could be a positive and a negative. The positive, it could be because it could help you with your self-esteem, cover up imperfections. A negative could be that there's such a high standard for what is beauty nowadays. So yeah, I think it could be positive or negative.
And like, since the beauty industry has changed and grown so much within like the last decade, these last past 10 years, how do you think it will change within these next 10 years? And do you think those changes will be positive or negative towards our society?
Well, the beauty industry is always changing and evolving, but there's also a lot of trends that always come and go within the hair, of course, the hair and the makeup. And right now we're in the little era where everything is about makeup and it's not so much the natural look. It could be positive because, like I said, a lot of people are very self-conscious and they use makeup to hide their imperfections, but it's also used to be artistic, so that could be a positive.
Another positive. And why do you think like the beauty community in these like past couple of years has become a multi-billion-dollar industry, and like why does it appeal so much to people?
I think a lot of the appeal to the beauty industry right now is that a lot of celebrities, they have their own skincare, their own makeup, and a lot of the normal people like us, we want to be like them, so we buy their stuff.
Is that why, like, do you think that the increased usage of social media has anything to do with this?
Oh yeah, because a lot of these celebrities use their Instagram, their Facebook, Snapchat to promote their products. So a lot of it is social media. That's how you self-promote. So yeah, I think that social media is a big self-promoting self-promoting platform.
Social media has negatively impacted women and teens to feel pressured to alter themselves through ads, pictures, and models encouraging the changes.
So for starters, where did you graduate from?
Odessa College.
And how long have you been in this business?
2 years last month.
Okay, so can you tell me about some of your experiences in cosmetology school?
I started out really wanting to do it and have a lot of fun and really enjoy it. When I started, the teacher expectation was very low. The attention that the teachers gave the students was almost invisible, like it just wasn't there. Throughout the whole program, I enjoyed being there every day, but as far as listening to the teachers and trying to actually learn something from them was pretty bad.
Okay, so do you believe that the techniques that you were being taught were kind of outdated compared to what's currently going on?
Yes, they taught a lot of what was done in the like 1960s, 1970s, and we never learned any kind of balayage, ombre. It was always perms, wet sets, pinups. We don't do that. I don't do that. As a young stylist, I don't do that, and so it really wasn't beneficial at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
So, how do you think the current beauty standards influence the actions of others?
They are influenced pretty bigly. I feel like you can get on social media and you can see a lot that is not life ideal. Like, it's not, you can't just wake up one day and have what you like want to have in the sense of beauty. Like, you can get on social media and you can see how everybody has what they want at the tip of their fingers, but in real life it's not how it is. You know, you have to dig really deep and you have to do a lot of things to actually get what you want. And so it's crazy how social media and how things like that influence people almost in the wrong ways. Give or take.
Okay, so you believe that social media does have a strong influence on others?
Yes, negative probably 80% and 20% positive, because it almost makes you want to get up and do better for yourself, but then you get up and you realize that, hey, I can't just do something so simple to do or to look like social media influencers.
Yeah, like plastic surgery.
Yeah, plastic surgery is not just at the tip of your finger as people on social media make it seem. And there's a lot more into it, I think. I think it can totally be overlooked or underlooked in many ways, but I don't think it's good.
Yeah, for sure. So, lastly, do you believe that the beauty industry has negative factors in it that promote a certain beauty image?
Yes, I believe that, again, you can't just wake up and be somebody so different. I feel like it does have a lot of just negativity to it.
It's promoting a wrongful image of what we should look like.
I think so. And not all of it is wrong. I understand that you do want to look a certain way and you want to feel a certain way, but social media is not the way to go about that, I feel like it's just all portrayed in a different way than what real life is. And I feel like knowing and seeing what I saw on social media before I got into this industry, completely different. It's completely different. It's a lot more intense than they seem. It's so simple as them just taking a quick little picture and you think, or writing a status and you think like, oh my gosh, like you want to be there and you want to do that. But it's not, it's just not. It's very unrealistic in many ways. The looks and the wants and the needs, it's also very unrealistic as to what it makes it seem like,
I agree.
For sure.
Both professionals interviewed graduated or are currently attending Odessa College Cosmetology School. After talking to an instructor, it seems that many issues seen in the beauty industry arise from where and how the standards are taught.
For starters, what do you teach?
I teach cosmetology here at Odessa College, and I teach from pretty much ages 17 through 60 and over maybe.
And how long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching since since you were 5. Since 2016.
Okay. So what interested you in becoming a cosmetology professor, and what have you learned as to like the standards or ideas of beauty?
Well, I've been in the beauty industry since 2009. I've been doing hair since then. And actually what inspired me is I felt that when I came and completed the program, there was a few things that weren't addressed. So I felt like new students needed to have that ability to learn new techniques and be successful in the industry.
So how do you personally convey the ideas of beauty to your students?
I like to, show them, introducing to as many techniques as possible. It's impossible to learn every single idea in the beauty industry, but I feel if you introduce it, at least they have the ability to maybe it's 5 o'clock
You're right.
to maybe become a specialist in a certain field.
Oh, okay.
So
Do you believe that the beauty industry could be viewed as corrupt in some ways?
corrupt. It might be similar to waitressing. The corruption might exist to where, you have the ability to not report certain services. So statistics usually show that cosmetologists and barbers do not make a high enough income. But I believe it is because they have the ability to not report a certain amount of cash. So in reality, you can actually be in the beauty industry and earn, six-figure income, but that's the thing. That's probably the corruption that I think might exist in that manner.
Okay. So as a teacher, you said earlier you're surrounded by all ages. Do you believe that, more towards your younger students, do you believe that social media has a sort of influence on what they believe to be a beauty standard?
Oh, definitely. I mean, social media is overpowering, I think, every aspect of life in general. So, but at the same time, I think they have open access to learning a lot of new techniques from, educators from across the world that we did not have years ago.
Okay. And lastly, do you believe that the beauty standards of the generation you're teaching currently are maybe different from the ones that you grew up learning?
Oh, yes, definitely. We have what we, TDLR, which is Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, is what regulates our industry, as well as, electricians, plumbers, and such. So it is of great concern for us to be very careful with the consumers, because we can actually cause a communicable disease that, I mean, if you think about it, you can cut somebody and, have a bodily fluids that you can transmit something that can be deadly. So sanitation is something very big. So I think it's very important to stay regulated.
It's proven that from the 60s to present day, models on social media are thinner, leading women to think badly about their own image. Also, many women go through cosmetic procedures to permanently alter their body to achieve that perfection, all leading to bad self-esteem from unhealthy standards.
So what is your name?
My name is Tanya Houston. I'm better known as Madison's mom.
All right, where do you work?
I work at Crockett Middle School as an assistant principal.
And have you been wearing makeup for a while?
For about 36 years.
All right. And when you were younger, around the years you were in high school, what were the major trends in beauty and how did you see them since the internet wasn't really around yet?
We used a lot of magazines. 17 magazine was something that my mom and dad allowed me to have a subscription to, so I looked at the ads and the articles in there. And MTV had just come out and was pretty popular. 24/7 music videos, so we would look and see what girls in the videos were wearing and how they did their hair and makeup.
Right. And what has changed now about beauty and its standards from when you were younger? And do you feel that you have to strive for them more with the internet?
I think with the beauty standards, you guys can see the trends that happen so much more quickly than we could. And so you have that ability with the internet. I don't know if you have to see them or if you have to strive more, because it was just as pressing on us to look like, we were supposed to look rather than just having what we were going to do. I mean, we sought to get examples, and I think it's the same for you. It's just more quick in the obtainment of that information.
Right. And do you think that the times are changing for the worse with the beauty standards, or do you think they are better? Why?
Well, I think probably it's a little better because there's more variety that you can strive to be. For me and my generation, Twiggy had been the most popular model the decade before, and they called her Twiggy because she was a twig. And so very skinny, very certain look, and now you see different shapes and different sizes, and even in the advent of openness, you can see, especially on YouTube and the channels that they have, you can see men who would identify better or do identify better as a woman, and so they have their own makeup techniques and things like that. So I think there's more options for you to choose from when you're trying to look a certain way, rather than it was we just kind of had one particular set.
And what people from your young adult life do you remember being icons for beauty, and how do they compare to today?
Cindy Crawford, Christy Brinkley, Claudia Schiffer, they all, for the most part, had, different hair color, but they were pretty much the same set. They were tall and thin, with rounded curves and edges, but they all pretty much look the same. I think for you guys now, you have so many different options. People who you can look to, and the shapes, it's not has to be so skinny and has to be so, they don't look like cookie cutter houses almost, or cookie cutter people with different color hair. So I think that's a little different.
Okay. And do you feel that beauty standards put pressure on you to buy products and conform to everyone's ideas? And how would you like to see that change?
I do. I think that even, whether it's your generation or mine, that we have to buy certain things to look a certain way. Now at my age, I have to buy face creams and sunscreens and all these things to look younger and younger, because younger is, the younger look is more valued. So I think that stays the same no matter what. I would like to, there's been recent movement like with models and actresses like Jamie Lee Curtis, where they didn't have their photos touched up. And I would like to see more of that, because it looks real. And you can identify with real instead of identifying with perfection. Because none of us are ever going to achieve perfection. So if they're always touching up photos and making everything perfect in the picture, it's an unrealistic goal for people to have.
The influence of beauty standards holds a strong presence on young minds and teens. The idea of changing one's natural beauty is a common one in minds from ages 18 to even as young as 6 years old.
Can you state your name and what you do?
I'm Abigail Gonzalez, and I'm a 5th grader from Cameron Elementary School.
And how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Really great.
Okay, Abigail. Abigail, do you use social media a lot? And if you do, who are some beauty influencers that you follow?
I do use social media a lot, and I really like it. And I follow like Ariana Grande, Jeffree Star, James Charles, and a lot of famous people.
Okay, and how do you think the beauty community influences you? Like, does it give you a different point of view as you grow up?
Well, yeah, because I want to change more so I can be more attention to myself.
So kind of a self-care.
Yeah.
It allows you to care more about yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you ever done or changed something about yourself because you felt that it wasn't up to society standards? And if so, like, what did you change?
I changed my style and have my personality and be organized.
So again, it allowed you, to improve yourself, to better yourself. Okay. And with your knowledge, how do you think the beauty industry has changed throughout time? Like, how is it different today than how it was 100 years ago?
Probably 100 years ago, they didn't have that much stuff, but now we do.
So they've invented more things throughout time.
Yeah.
More products. Okay. And how do you believe the beauty community will change in the future? Or how would you like to change it?
I want people to, I want them to know that they're pretty in their own way.
What high school do you attend, and what grade are you in?
I attend Odessa High School, and I'm currently a sophomore.
All right. And would you say you use makeup on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I would say that.
And do you enjoy using these products?
It makes me look not homeless.
All right. Do you feel the beauty industry has changed, and are they good or bad changes?
I don't think the beauty industry has changed. I believe the ideal look has changed because of society. I'm not against nor with the beauty industry because it affects people in different ways.
Okay. And what is the main thing that people want to achieve by wearing beauty products, and why do they choose that?
The main thing that people want to achieve by wearing beauty products is most want to please society and what society think they should look like.
Right. And even though beauty is a form of expression, do you think the pursuit of perfection is a problem? Why or why not?
Trying to be perfect all the time can be a problem within oneself or other people around yourself, because it gives you unrealistic standards and may take a lot of time throughout one's day, which can be very inconvenient.
What do you think is the best thing about the beauty industry, and how has it changed you personally?
It gives people more time to express themselves, how they want people to see them and be more confident with themselves. And I think it does the same towards why I do it too.
And do you believe social media has taken a toll on the idea of beauty, and why or why not?
I think social media has taken a toll because someone may post a picture of themselves and get all this negative feedback compared to someone who is getting all this positivity because they're perfect with how they are, and it displeases society's eye towards how they look.
Learn the changing factors the beauty industry has and its constant evolution. The positive and negative aspects of this industry are both similar due to the high standards. I also learned about the different beauty eras as well as the modern day era and its great impact social media has.
I learned that the beauty community is very influenced by trends in social media, and it can even cause mental health issues in students and teens who feel they need to strive for perfection within themselves based on these social media posts by models and stuff. And I also learned models have decreased in size since the 50s, exponentially. It also says that women in the US pay $300,000 in makeup in their whole lifetime. So it's big statistics over something that you don't have to necessarily do to be considered beautiful.
Overall, filming this documentary has been a learning experience for me. I've been doing makeup and learning new hairstyles for years now, but I never really thought to dive into learning about what the beauty industry truly was. I knew there were issues, but the way society has been influenced and impacted went much deeper than I ever thought. We have this idea of perfection and what the ideal person should look like, and I learned that it's essentially promoted through things like social media, which every teen and young adult basically has. I also learned that it affects what's learned in cosmetology school and the rubric to be taught by. The standards of beauty are growing and changing as time goes on, but I believe we must find individually what we feel is beautiful and find it in ourselves and others.
From the beginning of time, humans have always had a constant struggle with wanting to reach a certain type of self-perfection. Although beauty standards have changed drastically throughout centuries, the need of reaching a perfect image has always remained. Today, beauty standards are higher than ever due to the immense impact social media has on society. With many influencers and worldwide connections, the need of wanting to reach a perfect physical image is greater than ever. However, in the past, present, and future, the only beauty remark that should matter is what is found within. No amount of contour or blush will ever compare to the beauty a person has inside themselves. It is up to each and every individual to find their inner beauty, because imperfections are what makes us unique and human. In every way possible, beauty should always remain within. It's time to take action and define the reality of beauty. So what will you do to find your inner beauty and embrace it?